You feel it.
Chase
You
it!
will chase it.
Sorry.
Welcome back, everyone, to the channel. I am still alive. I am back. And with the
He's
exception of
he's
this, I
here.
am
He's queer.
actually,
Get used to it.
yeah, especially with a certain movie star we're talking about today. Oh my god, I'm just kidding. But aside from doing this, I'm actually going dark on all my social media because of Deadpool and Wolverine. But I wanted to get this out there, so yeah. I'm sorry. I want to apologize to all my viewers for getting to this so late. Like much like with Halloween Ends, it was actually like a real hassle to get this together to see the movie. It's no one's fault. It's just how the chips fell. So, but here we are. We're gonna get into it. So, Twister, like it or hate it, I think we can all agree it's got a hell of a legacy. It, so, what we're going to do is we'll all go around the table. We'll actually give like our brief thoughts on the original Twister and how we feel it's held up, like it or hate it, and then right after that we'll give our full spoiler thoughts on the sequel. So, me first. I fucking love Twisters. A lot of movies where you could say, or even if you think they're underrated, you could say, oh, it's underrated, but I don't think it's a masterpiece. No, I think Twisters is a masterpiece. So many aspects of it that I think are underrated. Everything down to the characters, the story, the motivations. Like what I love about it is that the cast and the characters are so fun and lively, and you care about them because of what they're trying to do. They want to improve tornado warnings, and the way that they act, you can tell that they're not in it for the fame or the glamour or the credit. They just want to save lives. So they're a great set of characters. I love it. And of course, say nothing about the visual effects. We've all praised the visual effects. It's an awesome movie. So going into this, who would have thought that Twister would have lent itself for a sequel? Or whether you thought it would lend itself for a sequel, who would have thought that we would have actually been getting one? But when they announced it, what was it, like 5 years ago now? I thought there was so much potential for this. Whether it's a legacy sequel with bringing everybody back or something like what we actually got, more of a standalone story, the potential was there. And when we heard it was a legacy sequel, I was actually down for it because all I wanted was respect what came before, like show that what the characters in the first film did with improving tornado warnings, show that that actually had an impact, and just don't undo or disrespect anything about the original. And going right into it, I feel like they did. While I don't think this is exactly to the high standard of the original, I still think this is every bit as fun, lively, charming, and just as intense as the original. Not once does it skip a single beat in terms of the story or the characters, and the ways that it's able to call back to the original because it's more of a standalone sequel. Because of that, the ways that it's able to call back to scenes or moments or have little Easter eggs from the original, it's all able to be done in a way that doesn't feel like a rehash. It feels like very loving, respectful callbacks. And even the story, I think, is really good too. We see our main character, Kate, how she loses everybody in the beginning of this film. That was a fucking intense scene, which almost matches the opening of the first film, where she loses damn near everybody except for her friend Javi. And then cut to several years later. It's the usual, oh, I'm done with it, but then they get dragged back into it. It's a trope and storytelling that so long, even if it's you could say it's overused, so long as it's done well, I freaking love. So then we get the other main character of the film, Tyler Owens. Man, what can be said about Glenn Powell at this point? Like this dude has become a rising star like so freaking quickly. I loved him in this film. This might be my favorite performance from him, as biased as that sounds, which it may not because Hitman also came out earlier this year and that was fucking awesome too. Check it out if you haven't. But what I love about him and his crew is that while at first they may come up like, oh, they're just fame junkies, like just out there for the clicks and the views, the way that they reveal later on that, oh, any profits and money that they make from their videos, they actually use to help people that were victims of tornadoes. That was fucking brilliant because for a movie that's mostly admittedly aiming for dumb fun, the fact that it went that extra mile to give these characters depth of like, okay, movie, you didn't have to do that, but I respect it because that's another way I feel like it really calls back to the original film, giving depth to these characters. They're not just in it for the fun, like they know when to have fun and they know when to take it seriously. It was the original film was great for that with its characters, and it's equally great here. But again, none of it's done in a way that's a rehash, and I think that's something that should really be commended about this film because for all this, I'm sure we can all agree. Like I want to see what y'all thoughts are on this. For all the stale, soulless legacy reboots, continuations, or sequels that we've been getting nowadays, that just don't that just don't have the heart or the care. Movies like this are a genuine breath of fresh air. Despite the fact that it's more of a standalone sequel, it genuinely lives up to the legacy of the original. It has the heart, it has it has the charm, the fun, and the intensity, and even the ending. I don't think it was that bad at all. Like because what we see at the beginning of this film, we see what Kate went through. We see the fact that she lost all her friends, so she has this sense of guilt at the beginning. So to then go into the tornado at the end to try and disrupt it, it doesn't come off all girl power, girl boss because of the arc that we see her go through in this film. It generally comes off like, okay, she's lost so many people, she doesn't want to lose anyone else, so she just goes off on her own to do this. That's a great
I'll agree to
character.
disagree.
We'll get to that in a second, but yeah, sorry if this review sounded scattershot, but yeah, it's been a long week, but I loved this movie. Again, it had the charm, it had the fun and the intensity. It is every bit as good as the original, and that is why I'm going to give it a an A minus and a 9.5 out of 10. All right, right, dude. Thoughts on the original, and then your thoughts on this one.
Okay. Um, so when it comes to the original, I remember watching the original when I was a kid. I remember liking it. Um, but then I hadn't seen it in so many years. So right before I watched this one, I rewatched the first one, and it's all right. It's all right. It's not anything great. It's not bad. It's what you kind of expected. And yes, Zach, you can feel free to phantoms on me. But anyway, um, it's still okay movie. It's still okay. It's fine for what it is. So I guess what it is just the fact that even though I love Bill Paxton, uh, the characters were not really doing a whole lot for me. So, but that's just me speaking. I mean, the action was fun. The action's fun, but it's like I don't know that, and the fact that it was the ending I felt was kind of stupid. So, um, when it comes to the sequel, I watched it last weekend with my brother, and honestly, I feel like this is going to be a hot take, and I'm sure that Zach is ready to hit that Phantom Zone button anytime. But I think I might actually prefer this a little bit more to the original. I, I thought this was good. This was a fun time. Not great, not amazing, but it's still decent. I had more fun with this a little bit more than the first one. So I know you guys are pretty much rolling your eyes. I'm the odd man out, but feel free to phantoms on me after my review. Uh, I thought the characters were done a lot better here. The action was even more fun, and it was even better the fact that I saw it in IMAX. So yes, I did see Twisters in IMAX. So,
You lucky bastard.
but it was yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I'm not going to say it was perfect because if I had any are we talking about? Are we doing like positives, mixed, and negatives, or are we just, or are we just
Oh, just
gonna?
all at once. Oh,
Okay,
just all at once.
okay.
You can.
So in terms of my negatives, the biggest problem I had was that I felt like it was trying a little a little too much from the original, bringing too much. I felt like it was just trying to do that. I mean, I know that it's like callbacks and all. I get that, but I just felt like it was borrowing a little too much. Like you're going through the trauma that one of the characters have with losing someone in the past, and then like trying to go through this, and then you got the like. I just felt like it was repeating certain steps again. So that was that was like the biggest thing. And I felt like they could have done more with maybe some of the characters, but overall, I mean, but I felt like the characters were done a lot better. But I felt like in terms of the main characters, I felt like it was done a lot better here. So I know that's a hot take, and again, I'm feel free to fan on to me, but I honestly enjoyed this one. So overall, my score is a 7 out of 10. Again, it's not amazing or anything, but if you asked me which I would prefer, I probably would prefer this a little bit more than the first one. So,
Dylan.
All right, so I'm going to probably be the one that gets fan zoned in this. Trust me. You want to talk about a hot take? Here's a hot take for you. Oh boy. Oh boy. Here we go. Okay, I'm going. You know what you did? You took the original story, you gender bended it, and then you threw out the love triangle that was actually written very well and a great B plot to the original plot of the story. I'm sorry, but I enjoyed the movie. Don't get me wrong. But just like Right Dude said, they were copying way too much from it. In fact, that this wasn't a reboot. This wasn't a sequel. This was a remake. And honestly, it was a good remake. I'm not saying that it was a bad film. But I actually prefer the original a whole lot more because of the actual dynamic of the characters. We really got attached to certain characters and really understood the science and what they were doing behind their actions versus this movie that says, hey, you know what? Let's do it cool and let's toss out the science and actually just toss it in a little bit of girl power and get the movie done. Now, with that said, I do like the main character of the movie. But I don't know. She feels like a rehash of the two characters before, both losing someone in the beginning, and of course the whole thing of she's out of it and she's being dragged back into it. I felt like it was just really unnecessary. I wish they kind of did something more, and throughout the movie, I really felt like we were starting to build up something to possibly not going romance or anything like that. The movie did not need to do that. But I thought the movie was going to be building up to like a team. We have the whole situation with the one dude who is working with the other guy, and it's like I thought he was gonna switch sides and actually work with them, and we have our favorite cowboy in the mix. And I thought it was going to be like one last hurrah, let's save everybody, work together. And no, the girl just says, you know what, I have to do something. And granted, she had all the right to do it. I just wish they worked as a team to do it. Like what? Like the last movie, the first movie was so well done because of the teamwork within the movie. And this movie, they kind of threw out the teamwork and just focused on one character. And I just felt like that was kind of lazy writing to do. With that said, it's not that bad of a film, and I'm giving it a 7 out of 10.
All right, John.
All right. Okay. So my review of the newly released Longlegs. All right. So long.
Time's up!
We're talking about Twister, damn it. The Long Legs I've heard is pretty good. Go check it out. But it's funny you mentioned that.
Long Legs is awesome, by the way. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
Yeah, I've heard
interrupt.
it was. But here's my counter argument to your point, Dylan. Like I said in my review, like because you see her affected by the guilt throughout the whole movie, I feel like I get what they were going for was that last time she was out there with other people, she got them killed. So so she's like, you know what? I'll do this myself, and if I die doing it, then at least it's just me and no one else gets hurt. I like that.
I
like
just
that.
felt like it was too much of a reboot, remake more than a actual sequel story.
No, like I said,
The way
when
I
it
like
comes,
to-
I'm sorry, go on.
Oh, no.
Someone drag racing or something?
Oh,
Is someone drag racing outside?
I don't hear anyone. Well,
I-
no, the best pilot in the Resistance is in the chat. But here's the way I look at it. We knew that this was made to be a standalone sequel. Like it is still in universe. The first one still happened. The way I like to look at it is that it's a sequel to the concept. We get to see this generation's group of people inspired by storm chasing and tornadoes and all that want to take their crack at it
Yeah.
in a way that
I
feels.
still feel like the
respectful.
first movie's way better.
Oh, it is.
Just my personal
I still
opinion.
prefer the first film, but I think this film generally succeeds as a standalone sequel. Like, even if there are no legacy appearances and all that, I think the film works just fine with the callbacks that it did. Like, dude, I damn near teared up at the beginning seeing them use the Dorothy machine and all the getting sucked up into the tornadoes. That was awesome. And then then I think we all know what the best callback in the movie is, right? I'm not back. Because
Yeah,
that was like a running joke in the first film. Hey, Bill, I'm glad you're back. I'm not back. And then that moment at the hotel, like that was a perfect callback. Like it doesn't come off all wink, wink. You know, like it's like the callbacks in Ghostbusters Afterlife. Like even the most
Yeah.
on the nose one where like the cop is like, "Who you gonna call?" It's like it's very obvious, but you love it because
But
yeah. And I feel like that's
But,
how
um,
I
the
just felt
callbacks in
like
this
it
film
wasn't-
were, too.
I just
I also
felt like the story way too close.
Also, I had noticed something about this when I remember watching the movie. Y'all remember the part where they were pretty much like the girl. She was the tornado was coming right at the hotel, and then she was like, "Everyone, let's get to the pool." And right
Mhm.
behind the wall were the pipes. It's like, how did she see that hole from the hotel?
Yeah,
The pool was empty anyway, so that's all. Even from that angle, I could see it. But then again, maybe it's because I saw it on Dolby. It was like screen angling and all that.
there's also a whole situation that I really didn't talk about. It doesn't ruin the film, but I mean, my God, I really thought because everyone really played like a great role within the first and second part of the movie. That in the third part of the movie, I felt like they made her way too smart. I guess I shouldn't say that, but I did. I felt like they needed to work together more as a team than they actually did. You know what I mean? I thought we were building
feel
up
like-
to a team, and it didn't
I
work.
feel like we got a lot of that at the end, when she was teaming up with Tyler's crew. I feel like, I mean, yeah, the other members of his crew.
But
too,
dude, they didn't fight the giant tornado together. That's why I wanted the team to fight the giant tornado that's coming at them, and instead she goes on her own. She runs on her own.
Speaking of the tornadoes, and for context, we all liked the concept of the first film, right? Like you use this machine, get data, and improve tornado warnings. That was a great concept, and that's why you could really care about the characters, like and really get invested in what they're doing. Then we have in this film the idea of literally disrupting tornadoes, putting stuff inside of it to make them disappear.
I didn't like
Did
that.
y'all get into that?
I legit didn't like that because the first one, it felt so grounded to what our technology actually could do.
Yeah.
That one felt like let's add a little bit of magic and say it's science just to have a new story to it. Like I was like, yeah, and they tried to explain the film. I'm sitting here, I'm like, yeah, it makes sense within context, but it's also like, yeah, I don't see how that would actually work in real life. You really took a stretch. And maybe it was the right stretch to do for the movie, but it's too big of a stretch for me to get into.
I mean, it's pretty much a movie about like just giant killing tornadoes and all. It's like with dumb films like these, you pretty much just have to like suspend your disbelief.
But the first one, here's the thing. I understand that, but the first one, they were literally trying to get data on a tornado. Okay, getting data actually sounds like something possible. Sounds like something a tornado expert would actually try to do. This one, let's try to disrupt the tornado. Let's try to defeat a tornado with dust. That's what it was. So just from standing there to pour water and it'll stop it. That's not gonna work. If that was the case, then everyone would just throw like sand barrels at the nail and stop. That's never gonna work.
I think that's the even ground we can come to is that it's definitely not scientifically accurate, but I feel like it's like a turn your brain off situation.
The first
like
one was way better because of that.
It's like you could turn your brain off and enjoy like, all right, let's see what it can do. But I thought it was an interesting concept, whether it's actually scientifically accurate or not. Like a great expansion, like again, like it's a sequel to the concept rather than a sequel in regards to bringing back characters and continuing certain plot lines. So I ran with it just fine enough. Like, oh, we got to talk about the score. The score was next level. I don't know who composed it.
Dude, the score and the special effects in this movie are, and I can't believe I'm saying this because the first one was really great. They legit improved on the first one, which isn't that big of a surprise because the first one came out a couple of years ago and the technology is actually better.
1996.
Yeah, it came out in 1996.
Yeah, so the special effects in this movie was far better than the first one, even though I like the first one more. I like the first one story-wise more, but the special effects and the music and all of that in this one was great.
So that's pretty much your biggest praise, not the effects.
Oh, absolutely. That's my biggest praise. I didn't really like I liked the story. I just wished if they did something a little bit more grounded. And I wish that they actually worked together as a team, which they did not. But
my biggest praise for the movie, honestly, is again how it captured that same tone of the original, with the characters, right? Like there are fun of characters, but another layer.
I actually feel like the first one, you get a little bit more of a fear factor of the tornado than in this one, though. That's my opinion.
What I'm saying, though, is
I felt scared when I watched the first tornado. The first one. This one, I didn't for some reason.
What I'm saying, though, is that an extra layer to what made the characters great in the original is that not just the fact that they're very fun and lively group, but the fact that they knew when to have fun and they knew when to take it seriously. I got that same tone out of all the characters in this, like especially with Tyler Owen's group, like that same, like let's go get them boys, woo, like just having just that fun edge to them, the liveliness. That was one of my biggest expectations for this was have fun, likable characters, but also know when to juggle having fun and taking it seriously. And that's my biggest praise for this is I feel like they captured that perfectly compared to the original.
Yeah, gotcha.
And I'm actually curious, like this, even though y'all thought this was okay, do you feel like things could be improved with another one? Because they are talking about a sequel.
The only problem I have with there being a Twister 3 or something is just the fact that I feel like they would probably get a little too repetitive after a while. You know, I just feel like that. Honestly, I feel like if you want to do a second one, then fine, whatever. But I feel like if you keep trying to bank on this too much, it's just going to get too monotonous after a while. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, in my opinion, could you do a third movie? Yes. In fact, you can even probably ground it a little more than the second one did. Unless you go absolutely wild and just say, hey, there's a tornado that's going to destroy like half the world or something like that. Which they could do. I would be in to watch a movie. I kind of like movies where the world is like a nation and they all go.
Have you guys actually like? If you ever had any kind of close call with any kind of tornadoes near you or anything?
Yep.
I know I certainly have because I know like I was with because I know like right by where I used to live, there was a tornado that hit like a couple miles away. So and it was like we were so close in its impact.
Yeah.
So
for me, not here. I live in Arizona, clearly. So, but when I did live in Ohio with my aunts and my mom and my family back there, I remember this one time that we saw a funnel cloud, a big funnel cloud. It was a ways away from our house. It wasn't like anywhere close to our house. But we were driving and we saw a big funnel cloud. The funnel cloud, however, never hit the ground and never turned into a tornado. So no.
A couple years ago, me and my sister were up here in Colorado seeing our grandmother, and they were calling everyone out into the hallways because it was a tornado warning. It was headed like right for us, and I was scared to death. Like I legit thought we were going to die. Like in Temple of Doom, we are going to die. But jokes aside, like it was a moment that really shook me because the tornado shifted course last minute and then dissipated a few minutes later, like several miles away from where we were. And then we found out later that it was a small tornado, like it only lasted a little bit. But I didn't know any of that in the moment. Like as far as I knew, all I knew was there was a tornado warning. It's headed right for us. Very likely going to rip through our building. So, yeah, obviously people that have actually been hit by tornadoes have it a lot worse.
yeah.
But still, just the fact that it could have hit us.
Yeah.
That it shook me. Like I it's a thing that I still have like nightmares about, like really bad nightmares. Like where the tornado actually hits us, and man,
I'm sorry, go on.
Just and like even in a nightmare, man, like just seeing the roof being ripped open and hearing all that horrifying high pitched screaming.
Yeah.
Even with the phone cloud, that's the thing. That's why we never really were scared because we never had a tornado warning when I lived in Ohio. It was just a phone cloud. It never hit the ground. Was never going to hit the ground. They know. They know.
I know that when it comes to like me, like it seems like because you all know I live in North Carolina, so the two most common natural disasters that occur around here are either tornadoes or hurricanes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I used to live in California, Earthquake City,
Yeah.
but no, Arizona, we just have extreme heat.
About to bring you back so you can.
But yeah, tornadoes, man. We
Yeah.
could do without.
Although I will mention one other thing, and I'm pretty sure that Zach is going to be jealous. But I remember when I was in high school, me and my family we went to Universal Studios, and there was this one ride called it's like a Twister ride or something, or like a show.
Oh, that one.
It's like you're just having to be you're in this arena and all, and you're just feeling wind blow in your face, and just you get wet, and just watching everything blow away. So unfortunately, that ride's no longer there because I think it was like take down and like replaced with like the Jimmy Kimmel Live show or something stupid like that. I don't know.
Stupid shit. But yeah, what a ride where you watch someone do a talk show. So thrilling.
I'll tell you what. If I ever find it on YouTube, I'll send it to the chat so you can know what it
Hell
did
yeah.
look like at the time. Because I feel like that, I would have feel like if you ever went there at that time, then you would have loved it.
Indeed. Yeah, I brought up the sequel idea earlier because the cast and crew are all saying that they're actually interested in developing a sequel. They said that they hope to further explore the continuing stories of these new main characters because they've stated that the script intentionally left their story unfinished. So that they're saying that there would still be more to explore with these guys. I'm hella down because here's the thing, like with these characters, they're obviously not the original cast, but they're still a fun, lively bunch. So I would be down for a sequel with this group.
I would, absolutely. The cast was fantastic. The actors were brilliant. Every character was great. Again, do I have some story parts that I don't like? Yeah. But I'm not gonna act like the characters weren't good.
So would we all agree that, like I said, would we all agree that tonally we feel like it did capture that same sense of fun with the characters as the first one?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I thought it did better than the first one, but then again, that's just me speaking. So
yeah, I'm actually curious. In your guys' opinion, what was the most intense tornado scene of the movie? I think we all have the same one, but I'm curious.
It's the last one.
Yeah, I would definitely the last one.
The rodeo tornado for me.
Sure.
Because again, it's again going all back to how I feel like it's able to capture and call back to things about the original way that doesn't feel like a rehash. But y'all know how much I've praised that scene in the original Twister, right? With the drive-in tornado, how it perfectly builds up that tension and the build-up.
That built up more tension than this one did, dude.
Well, let him finish.
Go ahead.
Let him finish.
Because like I said, y'all know how much I've praised that scene in the original, the way they just perfectly built up the tension with the score and the music. Like it took the time to build up. Like you obviously know it's coming, but the fact that it's like the Jaws effect, like anticipation, wait for it. So it was perfect, and that scene where like all of a sudden you see the wind blowing, and they're like, wait a minute, this isn't right, and then all of a sudden, everyone's phones are blowing up, then the sirens, like perfectly recaptured the scariest scene of the original film. That was something I was hoping they'd be able to do again in a way. I really got to stress this, in a way that genuinely didn't feel like a rehash, because I really don't feel like nothing in this film rehashed the original. But
again, was it kind of funny, like at the end where they were trying to hide out at the movie theater, and then what was playing Frankenstein, and then it's like when the tornado was just like up, they got to the it's alive.
Yeah, that was great. That was pretty good.
To be intentional, like, and I don't know if you guys stayed for the end credits, but there were actually
I didn't even know there was end credits.
there were little bits during the end credits that like little afterward things that showed.
Oh yeah, okay.
Because there was that British dude on Tyler's team that was like writing a story about his group and all that. But then in the end credits, they do this visual thing where it showed like all these bits in the newspaper where he writes a story about Kate instead. And then there's actually more little scenes during the credits that show that Tyler, Kate, and her friend and her other friend all joined up to make their own little team and all that. So technically, I guess she's like one of the tornado wranglers now. I liked it. That was neat. Like again, that all ties into how they're setting up for a sequel. Which, hell, given the box office of the movie, just in its opening weekend alone, I'd be surprised if they don't get a sequel. Yeah.
I mean, if they do end up doing a sequel, the only thing I just got to do is just try not to repeat ground. So
you would see a sequel, but just
we'll see.
I could see it. I would see it.
Well, for me, we'll have to see. So I don't know.
I would see. I would have no problem with the third film. Now, if you're telling me to turn this into a giant franchise where we're gonna get like 10+ films, I'm kind of like, no.
Oh God, no.
Third film to end it would be okay. A fourth film, no. A fifth film.
The Fast and the Twisters X.
You know what? I kind of wonder how funny that would be for a crossover.
Universal, if you stain my beloved Twisters franchise with the stain of that overdone, drawn out Fast and Furious franchise.
You know what I just keep thinking about? I honestly keep thinking, you know what I'm thinking about right now? It's like Vin Diesel comes in and says, Twisters are no match for family. Tornadoes are no match for family.
Please, they went to space. They'd survive a tornado. We all know that. Logic is
that's true.
Logic is completely devoid in this movies now. You know that just on paper, yeah, they would survive a tornado. No, not just like a tornado. They would survive the EF5 from the ending of this one. But unlike Kate, who actually was pretty bruised up. Yeah, but unlike Kate, who actually was pretty bruised up at the end of this film, you know Vin Diesel would just get out of there without a scratch.
Yeah.
But, oh, dude. Just let that franchise fucking die. Oh my god. But I think that's about it. You feel like is there anything else?
Yeah, I think we just about covered it all.
I mean, there's not really much.
So I'm not even gonna get into I'll get my final thoughts, but I won't even say it. Like before I get my final thoughts, I'll ask the both of y'all. Story issues aside, would y'all recommend people see this in the theaters?
Yes.
I would.
In this
as
context.
A fun popcorn fic.
It's
yes.
like as like a stupid summer popcorn movie. Turn your brain off.
You got a weekend. You want to go watch something with your family. It's fine.
Especially especially if you have.
I'll say it this way. Like two contexts. For fans of the original, even though this is a standalone sequel, would you recommend this for fans of the original?
Yes.
I'm sure fans of the original will get their money's worth.
Yeah.
They know what to expect.
And then,
even though I have story issues with it, yes.
Yeah.
And then, as y'all said, and even just as a fun disaster popcorn flick, yeah.
I will say this though: if you do have an IMAX, it's worth seeing in IMAX at least. So.
Hell yeah. But yeah, it goes without saying for me. Yeah, like whether you're just looking for a fun disaster film, popcorn disaster stuff, or looking for a follow up to this original film you love so much, I recommend it on both fronts because that's another reason why I was actually excited for this, is because not just because it's a sequel to one of my all time favorite movies, but just because we've been disaster movies of any type, earthquake, hurricane, tornado. Disaster movies have been scarce in the theater for a long time, so for
Yeah.
years now, like a decade almost. I think the last disaster movie period we've gotten in the theaters was Into the Storm 10 years ago. Which that's another really damn good tornado movie. If y'all haven't seen it, I'd really recommend it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
maybe you have to show me that one at some point, dude.
yeah. So we'll all give our closing thoughts and then we'll announce some upcoming stuff. So, closing thoughts. I love Twisters. Just as a fun popcorn disaster flick, it was a lot of fun to see something like that in the theaters again. And then as a follow up to one of my favorite films, I felt like it delivered, even though it was a standalone story. It was able to tell its own story with its own characters, and even any callbacks or Easter eggs it had, I at least genuinely feel like were able to be done in ways that didn't feel like a rehash. The characters were fun, and the effects were great. It was every bit as good as the original film. So yeah, I absolutely loved it. Right, dude.
Yeah, this is I mean, like I said, as someone who wasn't super crazy of the first film, I thought this was like a good surprise. So, um, I would say go. Like I said, it's like I said, if you are looking for like a dumb but fun summer movie, turn your brain off kind of thing, I would say you yeah go check it out. So just I wouldn't expect nothing more than just like a dumb fun ride than anything. I don't expect like Oscar worthy or anything or movie of the year. Well, maybe except for this guy. Um,
I
but
know, right?
but yeah, I would say if you have the time or something, I'd say at least give it a watch. So it's like I said, and if you have an IMAX near you, it's worth seeing it in IMAX at least.
You're muted.
Dylan?
So yeah, first off, I actually got into this movie because of Zach. He showed me the first one. I never saw it before, and then he showed me the second one. The second one. As much as I do have issues with the story, it's still a fun movie. And I say, if you have a Saturday, you got nothing to do, and you're with your family, go to the movie theater, support your movie theater, go and watch it. It's fun. Nothing too crazy. That's all I have to say about it. 7 out of 10. Pretty good film. I was too hard on it when I first watched it.
Yep. And guess who's back?
All right, so that was my review of Longlegs. I hope.
John.
I haven't seen either, so I can't say anything. I have absolutely no fucking interest.
I'll tell you what, John. Do you want to at least say? Do you want to at least give your score or maybe quick thoughts on Longlegs?
Longlegs, great movie. Go watch it.
I would agree. I would go watch it too. So
yeah,
because we
it's
watched.
fucking great.
Yeah,
I did review it for my for another. I have like a million accounts right now. I reviewed it for one of them, and yeah, great stuff.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Fun fact. Me, John, Devin, and Mark, we all went to go see it Longlegs together.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yep.
And by the way, Devin was like horrified that I feel like he's gonna.
Yeah, he was a bitch. I was surprised. He was being a little fucking bitch about it. Crazy.
He's gonna need therapy.
What a fucking little bitch. Damn, Devin, who knew? Such a bitch.
He was scared of Longlegs?
Yes,
Yeah.
he was.
What a fucking bitch ass wimp.
Well, if it really creeped him out, I'm really gonna have to check this movie out then. Speaking of checking things out,
Daisy Edgar Jones.
I guess no. Glenn Powell.
Well, yes, but that I was saying the less obvious one.
I know. But speaking of checking things out, I guess it's appropriate for me to say this because I'm hosting it.
Yep, go ahead.
If y'all wanna see me again, I will be on our channel, The Cool Kids. The link is in the chat, where we will be here in a few days reviewing Deadpool and Wolverine, my most anticipated movie of the year.
Oh, I thought Twisters was your most anticipated. That's
Second or
surprising.
third. I think it was second.
I thought it was third because I thought your second one was Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
Yeah, it was second. Or
No. His most anticipated was Garfield. That's what it was.
Chris Pratt voicing Garfield.
That's just.
I still haven't seen that movie. I hear it's pretty. I get mixed reviews on it, so I don't know if I'll see it or not.
It's not like the worst thing ever, but it's not terrible. It's not great.
Yeah.
Don't you see it? Don't you ever see it?
I'll see it
In
eventually.
here, as long as you can. But yeah, so that is what we got going on. Other than that, where can we find everyone here?
I mean, you can find me on the Right Dude, my YouTube channel. Although I haven't really been making a lot of videos.
You make more videos than Devin. The last video he made was like 5 years ago.
But I mean, you can find me on my channel, Right Dude. But like I said, I haven't put anything because I know there's been a lot of changes these past several months. So I just really haven't had the thought of trying to get to it. So, but yeah, that's where you can find me at. I don't know when my next video will be. So I'm mostly on the Cool Kids with these guys. So.
Yeah, boy. Not Dylan. Fuck you,
Yeah.
Dylan. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. No, honestly, I would love to join you guys, but like I don't watch that many movies, and
Well, you said
I
your
mean,
nearest
sometimes-
movie theater is like 3 hours away, so that's
Yes.
understandable.
my
so-
nearest movie theater, actually, legit, that movie theater might be closing. It's 2 hours away, and that movie theater might be closing.
God,
so
you can
I
only
might
ride.
not-
Now you can only ride the high seas.
I know, right? That's
On
I've
the
been
ship.
doing that quite a bit lately. But with that said, I actually am in a lot of places. You can find me on Dylan's Little Hobbies, where I haven't been doing very much content, but with Fairly Odd Parents, that new A New Wish, the reboot coming out, I actually plan to actually make a video on that after I get done watching the show. I'm super excited for that. I'm also working on Reaper's Blood, which is a book that I wrote, and I'm actually turning that into a comic book, but you guys can follow the actual book on Royal Road if you guys want to check that out. I'm also on Nindroid243's channel, where we have Super Chat, where we're just hanging out and talking about superheroes and other stuff that we're into. You can also find me on the Austinator channel, where we actually do plan to talk about Cobra Kai Season 6. Actually, this coming Sunday. Either this coming Sunday or next Sunday. I'm not completely sure about that, but one of those days. Definitely check us out. And you can, of course, check me out on Zach Yella whenever I have time, and we have time to talk about something. Dude, you know, at some point, you still gotta show me Indiana Jones. You still gotta do this. So
All
I'll
five.
be next on your channel at some
Not just
point.
the trilogy.
Yeah.
Dylan, you're suffering through all 5.
Oh wait, all 5 of what again?
Indiana
Indiana
Jones.
Well, I mean,
And I mean, I
five
still got, we
of them
still
are
got,
good, like, you know,
what was that? Freddy's. I still gotta see the
Yeah,
Freddy
Freddy's.
movies. I've only seen a couple.
Honestly, I'm gonna
Austin
say
was
this.
watching
This
those
this
fucking
might be
videos.
a unpopular opinion. Outside of the remake, which I have not seen, I just know it's bad. But outside of the remake, there is no really bad Freddy movie. Like all of them have a degree of goodness in them, whether
I've only
it's
seen the
whether it's
first
genuine good or ironically good.
Like it,
I
like
was-
it,
I
I've
don't care
only
what
seen
anybody
the first
says.
three.
Freddy's Dead,
The
fucking
best of the
terrible,
best.
but it's so fun. It's so bad, but it's so funny to watch.
Yeah, like here's the thing. I hate Freddy's Dead, but like the part where like the kids all deaf and you can't hear, and Freddy's just in the background going,
hey,
like, oh
you
my God.
forgot
What
the
does it
power
What does
glove.
the map say? The map says we're fucked. You know, like it's just like stupid shit like that. It's,
like,
Hey,
like-
you forgot the power glove.
like even
come
if
on,
it,
how can
even
you
if,
hate that? Like that's
like, in a way I can.
I'll have to
because,
watch
like,
it at some point.
like,
I
they
only saw the
they-
first three so far.
They turned Freddy into a joke, but man, Robert Englund makes it so entertaining to watch.
yeah, that's pretty much the reason why they work.
Yeah. But now, John, my man, where can they find you?
Geek Informant, my channel. I'm posting something tomorrow. Something geeky and nerdy related, so watch that. I'm also on Cool Kids, as well as my job channel, which I won't mention because that has my real name. So don't check me out there. So I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
But yeah, outside of that, 2 channels. Enjoy them.
So,
Watch. Do whatever you want.
Well, this was a blast. Thanks for having me on, Zach.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that is how it is, and y'all can obviously find me here. And again, you can find me on Saturday on the Cool Kids channel, where I will be hosting a review of Deadpool and Wolverine. John, unfortunately, will not be making it because I'll let him get into it.
I might be able
Fuck
to make that. I'm not sure yet.
Them for bringing Hugh Jackman back. Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck them.
Which I can respect because Logan, man, it's a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah. It like literally, if this came out before Logan, I would be on board. I would go see it. I would watch it. And then Logan came out afterwards and I'd be like, okay, yeah, that's fine. But the fact it came out after Hugh Jackman came back for this, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm okay.
That's fair. Oh, we got Rome coming in at the last minute. What is up, Rome?
He's had his own stream about an hour ago.
Oh,
Nice. Alrighty then. So, yep, that is Twisters. We will see y'all on Saturday. And one more time, guys, if you feel it,
chase it.
Chase
Chase it!
Chase it.
chase it. All
I
right.
actually
feel
do
it.
like
See
that.
y'all.
If you feel it in your ass, chase it. I mean, what?
But
I
yeah,
mean, clearly Zach wants to feel it in his ass if it is Glenn Powell's cock. But, you know, that's beside the point.
I can only say what Nick Fury said. I will neither confirm nor deny the facts of that story, but it was great seeing y'all again. Because as of now, I am going dark. So aside from our little chat, y'all won't be seeing me for a couple days. So later, fellas. The next time y'all see me, we will have seen Deadpool and Wolverine. Later, fellas.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.